Tori here today with a really cool video. Today I'm going to be working on a layout for Wild Whisper, and I'm on their design team, so I'm really excited because they have some really cute products for May, and I've been waiting to share them with you for weeks, so I'm really excited to get to share them with you. And I'm going to be working on this really special layout about my grandpa and I. So if you've been watching my channel and my blog and my Instagram and Facebook for a while, you know that my grandpa passed away a few months ago. And when I saw this kit and I saw the stamp set, I knew that I really wanted to make a layout about him. So yeah, I'm excited to be making it, and I hope that you guys will enjoy this layout. So if you want to see the layout that I make with the Wild Whisper World's Best collection for May, then stick with me, and I'm really excited. So the first thing I wanted to do was to kind of share with you the items that I got from Wild Whisper for this month. And I'm really excited about the papers and the stamp set and like all the goodies. So yeah, so the first thing that I picked up in the shop are these really epic cork hearts. Now, these weren't necessarily part of the World's Best set that came out for May. They're just items that Wild Whisper has in the shop, but they're incredible. Like, I love stars, and these cork giant mammoth stars are so epic. And then there's also these tiny shooting cork stars, and they're all available in the Wild Whisper store, and they're designed by Spiegel Mom Scraps, and they're just really cute, and I can't wait to find a really awesome way to use them. I'm not sure if they'll make it on today's layout, but I just saw them in the store and I was like, I have to have those. Okay, and the other thing I picked up in the store that's also not part of World's Best, but is just really epic, is this like epic stencil. It's like a splatter and all these dots and everything, and it's from Southern Ridge Trading Company, but it's in the Wild Whisper shop, and I'm super excited about it. It's just so fun, and I love stencils, and like more like abstract ones like this are just so awesome, and they look really great in mixed media, but also on your scrapbook pages and journal pages and everything. So I can't wait to play with that. And then I'm just gonna stick the photo over here for a sec. Here is the stamp set for World's Best, and it's a 4x6 stamp set by Wild Whisper. It's available in the Wild Whisper shop, and I'll leave a link for Wild Whisper below. And this stamp right here is the one that kind of inspired my layout today. It says, "Everything I am, you help me to be." And with the passing of my grandpa, I've been thinking a lot about what an impact he's made in my life and how I'm changed because he's been here and he was in my life. So I really wanted to use that stamp kind of as a title, or for maybe a smaller title for my layout today. And that's what inspired the layout. But on the stamp set, you also get World's Best, and it has mom or dad, a couple lines, a really cute lock, and then a bunch of different vintage type keys and keyholes. And then you've got some leaves or sprigs, I don't know what you call those, and then some like fun raindrop type things. And yeah, so I'm planning on using some of the stamps for today's layout. And then the other embellishment type item I got were these really cute wood veneer keys, and I think they're also from this collection. So they came out with World's Best, and there's 4 wood veneer keys, and they're kind of die cut in the same styles as those stamps, and also one of the papers, which you'll see in a moment. So super cute. And then last, but definitely not least, I kind of saved my favorite for last, is the papers. So I picked out the paper set because I couldn't wait to use it, and this specific paper that you see here is like my favorite and the one that I definitely wanted to use right away. So there's 6 double-sided sheets for the World's Best collection by Wild Whisper. And you can kind of see like a quick glance at what all the papers look like there, but I'm gonna definitely show them all to you. So again, this one's my favorite one. It's got these like really pretty like leaf sprig design, and I'm definitely using that for today's layout. And it's like a light green. On the back side is like a lattice pattern. And I don't know what color you call this, maybe like a tealish color, like a dark teal. I don't know, it's really pretty. I think I love both sides of these. I kind of wish I didn't have to only have one. I should have ordered 2 sets of the paper, which you can do. So if you're gonna order paper, get 2 sets so you can have both of these and make 2 layouts. And then there's this really pretty like striped patterned one, and it's got like all these different lines in it. So it's got those sprig elements, it's got like a squiggly line, some hearts, some like seeds or leaves, I don't know, flowers, really pretty, some water droplets. And you can use this like as a paper. You could cut up the strips and use them, or you could even use like the little elements and fussy cut them out, which I think would be cute. And I might do that for today's layout, I don't know. And then on the back, there's kind of this really fun raindrop pattern. So some of the raindrops are open, and then some are filled in, and then some are just the filled in shape. And yeah, it's really cool. I don't know what you call this color, maybe like a gray, a light green, and a teal color maybe, but that's fun. The third paper is this one, and I'm not sure what Heather and Susie were thinking, but to me it kind of looks like bricks or like walking tiles, like, you know, when you're walking on the ground, like the cobblestone kind of idea. I think it's really cool. It kind of looks like a wall to me, and it has this like watercolor almost effect in the background, which is really cool. I'm excited about that. And then on the other side, this says world's best mom, queen, mom. Yeah. Best mom over and over on this like light, soft peach kind of color. It's really fun. On this one, there's a bunch of locks and keys, and it says wild. So this one says wild and world's best. And then there's kind of like this really vintage style like keyhole, and then a bunch of different keys, which you could definitely fussy cut or keep together. And again, this paper is kind of like watercolory effect with that like gray tone, and it actually would look really nice with this paper. And this one I think is my favorite key. I hope you guys can kind of see this. It's got like a key with the word love like in the key. That is so epic. It's so pretty. Oh, and then the other side I forgot to show you is like a crisscross crosshatch, almost like a plaid, but like cross kind of design. It's kind of fun. This one says world's best dad, and instead of the word queen, it has king. And it's on this really green kind of tone-on-tone paper. So you can see that the idea for this kit was like world best mom or dad. It kind of comes out right in time for Mother's Day and Father's Day, which is really awesome. On this side, you've got this stunning purple tone, and it's kind of a tone-on-tone, and it's got like really fun squiggly lines going in there. And I feel like this would be perfect for layering, but you could also like trim out the squiggly lines and kind of have strips of squiggly lines on your page. And last but not least, we've got this paper, which kind of has that light green tone and maybe that peach, and I think these are octagons or hexagons. No, octagons have 8 sides and these have 6, so hexagon maybe. And on the other side, we've got some more locks and keys in all the different tones of the collection, and it's a little more simple but a bunch of different locks and keys, which are really fun. And again, these would be great like as a piece of paper or as a layering piece, or you could even like fussy cut out some of these elements. And like you guys know how much I love fussy cutting. So that actually brings me to today's layout. My thought process, and I'm gonna speed you up for the layout creation just because I don't want you guys to be sitting here for 20 minutes, is I really love this paper and I think it'll look really pretty with my photo today. And I love these sprigs so much that I want to fussy cut out a bunch of them for my layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to skip that part so you guys don't have to watch me fussy cutting, and then I'll come back once I have a bunch of these fussy cutted out, and then I'll start making my layout. So I'll see you in a few minutes. So once I had all of those really pretty leaves or sprigs or whatever you want to call them cut out, I decided to start creating my layout. And on the back of that really pretty paper with the leaves was this like lattice pattern, and I really loved it too, so I kind of wanted to use it as one of the elements on the page, and thankfully they coordinate really well. So my thought process was that it would be really cute to kind of create a half page design or maybe a third page design and then put the leaves behind that lattice pattern. And as soon as I saw that paper, I kind of had that idea in mind, but I thought it might need just a little bit more texture and something to fill up the background a little bit. So I grabbed that really awesome stencil and just some white acrylic paint from my stash and started creating some of those splatters on the background. And I figured that that would just add more like textural elements behind the leaves and it would look really cute. And in the end it really does. I feel like I should pull out my stencils more often. I love the effect when you use them, but then I always like don't pull them out, so then they hardly ever get used except for on my mixed media tags. But whenever I use them on my scrapbook layouts, I really do love the effect. So maybe that's your encouragement for today, to pull out your stencils and maybe try using one of them on your layouts. So once I had that, I needed to dry it. So I grabbed my heat gun, and I'll just skip this for you. And I just dried it really quickly. And then I also knew that I wanted to just add a little bit more definition to the back. So one of the stamps on the World's Best Stamp Set was this sprig leaf design, which is the same design as what was on the paper. And I just grabbed out some of my different inks to try to figure out which color I wanted to use. And I ended up using Gray Area, which is a color theory ink. I thought perhaps I might want to use green so it would go with the leaves that I had cut out, but in the end I wanted it to be a little more subtle, so the gray on gray, because the background's gray, adds this really cool like layer and definition, but it doesn't stand out as much as the leaves that I cut out. And I did shadow stamping, I guess, or double stamping, so I would stamp it once and then I would stamp it again and you'd get like a lighter shadow stamped effect as well. And that's just going to create so much definition between my leaves. So because I probably didn't cut out enough leaves to cover the whole thing without any gray showing, I wanted to have something in the background so that if any of the background did pop out, you kind of see some really cool areas of definition. It was a lot of fun. And I love the way that it ends up looking on the layout with this stamp and the stencil and then the leaves on top. Yeah, it just worked really well. I ended up grabbing the little leaf that was on that stamp set and adding that in a few pieces too, just to add a little bit more. I mean, I think I probably could have stopped before that, but why not? I mean, if you already have your stamps and your ink out and you're going to town, why not just go a little further, right? So I'm going to call this the wall that I'm creating, and I just felt like the wall was a little bit too big, so I ended up cutting off about a half an inch. And then once that's done, I'm going to start layering all my leaves and sprigs and whatever you want to call them behind that and kind of deciding where I want them to go. Once I had kind of figured out the general location, I decided to start gluing it down. And I am using my hot glue gun today, so
basically what I do is I just add a little bit of hot glue, glue it down, add a little bit more hot glue, glue that down, and I'm trying not to shift the leaves too much because I kind of like where they are. But the truth is, if they move a little bit to the left or to the right or up or down, it's okay. Like, they're not necessarily like in the perfect place or anything, so it'll it'll all work out. So this is the photo that I'm using today, and it's a photo of my grandpa, my little sister, and I a long time ago, and we're just cuddling him before we go to bed, I guess, because we have our PJs on. And I thought it would be really fun to make a layout just about um, my grandpa. And because he's passed away, it's got me thinking a lot lately about all the things that I've learned from him and how he impacted my life. And I just wanted to kind of jot those down on this layout. So that one stamp on the stamp set is what inspired me. The stamp says something like along the lines of everything I am you help me to be. And I've been thinking a lot about how my grandpa really shaped who I am today. And I wanted to write down some of the reasons why I think that, or some of the reasons that he shaped me, or the lessons that I learned from him. And that stamp set is the perfect title. It's the perfect inspiration for this page, and it kind of gets me started on creating this. And I love when one single item or stamp or element can kind of inspire a whole page around it, right? So I felt like it needed just a little something in between that wall and the leaves. And so there was this really beautiful one piece of paper with all those like lines and squigglies and everything on it. So I cut off one strip of this squiggly line and I just glue that down and it creates the perfect border between the leaves and that wall. And actually, as I just have my layout there, I was thinking, this layout would work really well in this direction, like the direction that I have it going. But I also think you could rotate it 90 degrees and have that wall off to the left with the leaves coming off the side. And that would look really cute for a page too. So if you're looking for some inspiration, maybe try doing your page in the same way, but 90-degree angle basically of what I'm doing. So I matted my paper on some white cardstock and glued that down. And I'm just going through the different papers to decide if there's anything else I want to add. But instead I decided to add my stamp and kind of get that down, because once I have the stamp down, then I can figure out what I want to do with my embellishments and journaling and everything. And again, that's just the stamp that comes in the World's Best Stamp Set by Wild Whisper. I'll leave a link for everything below, as well as there's going to be additional photos and journaling and notes on the Wild Whisper blog. So if you head over to that blog, you'll find a link to all of the products that I used, as well as additional photos and close-ups, because the close-ups are so pretty when you can see the definition that those leaves create. It's super cute. So I was going to add that stamp, everything I am you helped me to be, right underneath our photo, but I felt like it was too close to the top. So I decided to bring it down a little bit, but then it was kind of hanging up weird and I felt like that just didn't fit. So instead I grabbed a couple pieces of that same squiggly line from that paper and trimmed a couple pieces that I can just kind of layer underneath the photo, just to almost lengthen the height of the photo, so that everything I am stamp could come down just a little further and nestle better into the photo. So that worked really well. And then I really wanted to use one of these wood veneer keys from Wild Whisper, and thankfully one of them fit almost like perfectly underneath that stamp, with the little circle part coming up a little bit. So I used that one, stuck it underneath, and then I'm going to grab out some other embellishments and start adding the embellishments and doing kind of the fun part of the layout. I don't know about you guys, but for me, adding embellishments is definitely the fun part. And I may have gone a little bit embellishment crazy on this layout just because I wanted to add some bling, and I love embellishments, so I just kind of kept going and going and going. And for me, like embellishment clusters and adding lots of embellishments to a page is so much fun. I know some people say they struggle with embellishment clusters. My rule of thumb is like keep going, keep going, keep going. More is more. I don't know. And like if it doesn't feel done, add something else and it'll feel better. So I added a couple cork hearts with gold foil on them from Freckled Fawn. I added a couple of buttons from Pink Paisley by Paige Evans, those little greeny gray ones. And now I'm going to add a bunch of enamel dots and rhinestones, and I kind of tried to keep with the gray, green tones, a little gold in there as well. And I decided to just kind of add like a whole string of embellishments on the left and on the right side of my photo. And I just add 3 or 5 of each type, and it just kind of ties it all together. And by adding similar pieces on the left and on the right, it kind of ties it together, and it adds that really fun bling effect. But I don't know, I feel like it doesn't take away from the photo because it matches the background in the photo and stuff like that. So, and then I even used some really big enamel dots, which I mostly layered under things. And then that one I cut in half so it looked like it was layered under the photo. And that worked really well. And a couple of the embellishments and rhinestones and pearls I even tucked underneath the leaves and stuff so that they were partially showing. And I love the way that that looks. So once I had done that, I decided it was time to add my journaling. And I got a Skype call like partially through me doing my journaling. So it did shut off my camera a little bit, but I'm going to come back on and show you what I created. But just before I do that, I want to just kind of tell you how I did my journaling. I grabbed my ruler, drew some straight lines on my page to the right of the photo, and then I just started journaling about some of the things that I've learned from my grandpa and how everything I am, he helped me to be. He helped me to learn to be generous. He helped me to learn to have faith, to be strong in my faith, to share my faith with other people. He helped me learn to trust God more, to speak up for what I believe in. Some of those things are in the journaling. So I kind of just jotted all of those down and added them. You can see I'm getting a Skype call, so I'm going to just pause this and come back on when the journaling is done.
So, of course, I got a Skype call as soon as I was finished writing my journaling, and it cut out. And I missed the last few seconds of this layout, so sorry about that. But I basically just finished my journaling, and I added a couple buttons over here. I don't know why. I just felt like I wanted to balance out like all the bling and awesomeness over here. So I added these buttons. And that's it. My layout's really done. I love all the texture, and I'm really excited about it. And I think that it looks really cute with this photo of my grandpa and my sister and I. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's layout and that you will check out Wild Whisper and this really epic kit. And that you'll maybe check out the other projects that I've created for Wild Whisper too. If you're on my YouTube channel, I do have a playlist called Wild Whisper, and you can check out all the different projects that I've created with the Wild Whisper designs. And I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye!